as you noted, Mr. Council President, this marks National Disability Employment Awareness Month, which is appropriate because this also marks the 30th anniversary of our Americans with Disabilities Act. And as we know, our disability community contributes to our economy. They contribute in so many different ways to our community, and we so appreciate all of those contributions. We also appreciate the businesses who are partners with our community and employ these wonderful able-bodied residents in a variety of ways. And I also want to acknowledge the incredible community-based organizations that have established long-standing programs that are truly critical to our so many residents here in Montgomery County. So it's absolutely appropriate that we acknowledge this particular month, but also, especially during the pandemic, which has disproportionately impacted so many of our residents. And in the employment space, many people with disabilities have been disproportionately impacted. So we must remain diligent to ensure that we move our community forward. And with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Councilmember Craig Rice, to say a few words of introduction, followed by Councilmember Glass, and then I will introduce the folks who are joining us for this presentation. Councilmember Rice.
Well, thank you very much, Chair Albornoz, and thank you to all the folks who continue to work tirelessly to make sure that people with differing abilities are included in our community as a whole, and especially in our workplace. And I'd be remiss, and you'll have to bear with me, tonight is Dying to Defeat ALS, a great event in which we're raising money to raise awareness, as well as to try and find a cure for ALS. And many of you know that Stephen Goldstein, who was my chief of staff, battled ALS up until his last day working in our office. And I really have to say that how much that meant to him, how much that meant to his family, how much inclusion matters, how much of a difference it makes, and a shining example of how we can be inclusive and supportive of those who have challenges, but who still want to work, who still want to make a difference in their communities. We have that ability, and that's the great thing about this. It's making sure that folks understand that regardless of the challenges that they may face, that they still have something to offer, all of us. We all learned so much from him. We all learned so much from the accommodations that he needed to make and how we needed to make our office better to accommodate that. And so I'm so proud of this council, so proud of this county, so proud of the great work that continues to go on each and every day to make sure that regardless of the abilities you have, that you are included, that you are welcomed, and that businesses and companies understand the value that people with differing abilities have and can contribute to their overall operations. And so I really want to thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me to be a part of this. I really want to thank again all of the advocates in the community who fight for these individuals each and every day to ensure that they have a solid place here. So thank you.
Councilmember, that was well said and heartfelt. Councilmember Glass.
Thank you, Chair Albornoz, for leading this proclamation, and thank you, Councilmember Rice, for bringing Steve's memory into this space. It is a beautiful reminder of how this work has personally affected the council family. And so I know it's only been a year or so, but thank you for invoking Steve's memory into this conversation. And, you know, we're talking about the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act and the nation's 75th anniversary of the observance of the National Employment Disability Awareness Month. And here in Montgomery County, we are continuing to promote and support workers, job seekers, and retirees of all stripes. And that means making sure that we support fair and equitable workplaces, that we improve working conditions for everybody, and advance opportunities of employment for all. And so this proclamation is just yet another reminder of the commitment that we have here in Montgomery County to people with disabilities and to increase access and opportunities for all residents of Montgomery County. So thank you, Council. Thank you, HHS Chair Albornoz, for leading this.
Thank you both. That was well done, Councilmember Glass. Joining us in the audience are Dr. Seth Morgan, the chairman of the Commission for People with Disabilities here in Montgomery County. Dr. Morgan has had a tough year. He's been battling cancer, and he has been doing it with humility, grace, and strength. And we so appreciate you, Dr. Morgan, and all that you have done for our community over the years. Also joining us in the audience are Odile Burnetto, the Chief of the Department of Health and Human Services, Aging and Disability Services, and my Leadership Montgomery classmate, Pat Ritter, the Executive Director of the Treatment and Learning Centers. And also in the audience is Karen Hochburn, the OHR, the Director of Project Search. Actually, Pat, if we could turn it over to you to say a few comments on behalf of the community, and then my colleagues and I will read this proclamation. Oh, and looks you, I think you are muted.
I muted myself. I'm sorry. I had to. Thank you on behalf of the Montgomery County Interact community providers and all individuals with disabilities today for this recognition. Hiring an individual with disability provides diversity in the workplace, and that strengthens businesses. And it also provides good employees. And we appreciate this today. We certainly are happy to be recognized and know that this is something that is important. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat, and that was well said. So now my colleagues and I will read the proclamation. Just want to confirm that you both have it teed up. Great. So I will read the first paragraph and then we will go from there. So, proclamation of the Montgomery County Council. Whereas this marks the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, the nation's 75th observance of National Employment Disability Awareness Month. And whereas, Councilmember Rice.
Whereas we reaffirm our commitment to ensuring equal employment for all residents, including increasing employment access and opportunity for workers with disabilities to live and thrive in our community. And
whereas the disability community often faces obstacles to secure and retain gainful employment, and the pandemic has disproportionately impacted job losses for those with disabilities, with 1 in 5 having lost their jobs and nearly 1 million jobs terminated for countless disabled workers. And
whereas, while the current public health crisis progresses, innovative and collaborative strategies are critical to advance more inclusive employment policies and adopt improved benefits to best support our residents with special needs. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the Montgomery County Council of Maryland hereby recognizes the accomplishments in the workplace of all individuals with disabilities and commemorates National Employment Disability Awareness Month. And be it further resolved that the County Council celebrates the dedication, achievements, and determination of our disability community, who strengthen and steer our national, state, and local workforce towards success. Presented on this 20th day of October in the year 2020, signed by myself and Council President Katz. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning.